You're highly welcome, my dear brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked, to watch this message today. Today I'll be talking about the two set of bloodline that is running in this earth today. And I'll be using the scripture to be able to show you this. It is going to be a very, very interesting topic, for those who can really be able to do to take their little time to study along with me in this scripture, because you're really going to see a lot of revelations coming up, about these two bloodlines that are running in the earth today. So I'm talking about the bloodlines. Remember, I ain't talking about the spirit line. I'm talking about, the Ruach being is different from the two bloodlines, which I'm about to explain to you. I'm going to be, so I'm going to be doing it, using what is based on what is written in the scripture that is in the book. Let's go straight forward into the book of Genesis chapter number 4, so that we can be able to do to start dissecting these two bloodlines that are doing that are running in the earth today. I'm talking about human flesh, the two kind of bloodlines that are running in this earth today. So now, if you go into the book of Genesis chapter number 4, I would like us to start reading chapter number 4 from verse 17. From verse 17. He said, "And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch." So right there, I want us to see something. We see that Cain gave birth, to his son, and gave birth to, and called his name Enoch. So this is someone having his own genealogy. I'm talking about flesh, bloodline. I said there are two different kind of bloodlines running in this earth. So now, Cain bloodline, he gave birth to his son and called his name Enoch. Now, I want to show you again what happened in the book of Genesis chapter number 5. Let's start reading from verse 18. Remember, Cain gave his son's name to be Enoch. And there is another one in the book of Genesis chapter number 5 verse 18. It says, "And Jared lived 160 years, 60 and 2 years, and he begat Enoch." The same name that Cain had given his son is also the name that Jared gave his own son. But these are two different people. This one, the Enoch in Cain, the Enoch through Cain is running through Cain, whereas the Enoch in Jared is running through Seth. Seth and Cain are two different set of people. Cain and Seth are not brothers. I'm going to be showing you this according to what is written in the scripture. Because what you need to understand is, when you go into the genealogy of Adam, as the Bible records unto us, as we see in the scripture, you're going to discover that Cain is not mentioned among the family trees of Adam. So Cain is not the son of Adam. It's not from the seed line. That is to say, it's not from the bloodline of Adam. It's not from Seth. It's not from Adam to Seth. Now I'm going to be showing you what I'm talking about in the same book of Genesis chapter number 5. Let's start reading from verse 4. It says, from verse 3. "And Adam lived 130 years and begat son in his own likeness and after his own image, and called his name Seth." Wait a minute. people say Cain is the son, is also, because when you read the other passage of the scripture, you're going to see where Bible talk about Adam, Cain and Abel. That I will come to it later. Now, this particular passage is giving us something very profound. It's telling us that what? That Adam gave birth to who? Seth, begat Seth. Why is it that Cain was not mentioned as what? As the son of what? Of Adam. The reason is simple. Because why? Because Cain is not the son of what? Of Adam. I'm going to be showing you what is happening. Because Cain has his own bloodline, different from what? From the bloodline that is running through Adam. Adam's children are what? Adam has a son through Seth. Adam, Seth, and so on. This is what? These are the bloodlines. So when you come to the bloodline of Cain, this is why you see that what? That there is a lot of what? Of double names. Cain gives his children the names that what? That Seth also gave his children. There is a reason for this. I'm going to be showing you more now. He said in the same book of Genesis chapter number 4 from verse 18, and Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methuselah. So you see, somebody now begat Methuselah. Who is Mehujael? Begat Methuselah. And Methuselah begat who? Begat Lamech. Now, go with me in the same book, chapter number 5 from verse 21. He said, and Enoch lived 65 years, and he begat Methuselah. So now you see that what? That Enoch, who Cain gave birth to, from the side of Cain now, because Cain is the ancestor through the side of the Cain now, is the ancestor of what? Of Methuselah, is the great grandfather of what? Of Methuselah. And here in the bloodline of what? Of Seth, you see that what? You see that Enoch is also the grandfather, the father of what? Of Methuselah. So we are seeing two different bloodlines running at the same time. We have one from Cain and the other one from Seth running at the same time. So I'm talking about, you need to understand where I'm going to. I'm talking about people who are born. People who are born, the bloodline. I'm talking about blood, flesh and blood. Flesh and blood. This time around, I ain't talking about no spirit man. I'm talking about flesh and blood. The fourth, the flesh of the people who came through what? Through the bloodline of what? Of Cain. And what? And the people who came through the bloodline, talking about this flesh, the bloodline of what? Of Seth. Now understand this. So now it said in the book in verse 19, and Lamech took on to wife. So what you need to understand is Lamech was born in, let me go in verse 25 to show you what I'm saying. And Methuselah, so now Methuselah, who was mentioned also in what? In this passage of the scripture by who through Cain, Methuselah gave birth to Lamech. Also, when you come to the family tree of what? Of Seth. Now listen to what happened in verse 25. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. Now wait a minute. You see the names there. Bloodline of Cain, you see Enoch. Bloodline of Seth, you also see Enoch. Bloodline of Cain, you see Methuselah. Bloodline of Seth, you also see Methuselah. Bloodline of Cain, you see Lamech. Bloodline of Seth, you also see who? Lamech. So these are two bloodlines that are what? They are paralleling the same name. So there's a reason for this. These people are not the same people. This one, I'm talking about people who have different, they are flesh and blood, but they are not the same people. You get it? They don't behave the same way. So now what happened is, when we get to Lamech, in the side of what? In the side of Cain, his bloodline splits because Lamech now went and married two wives. So now from there now, he got populated. Let me just read it straightforward so that you can be able to see what I'm talking about. And Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. So you see, he took two wives. So, but then let's go and see the Lamech, which came through Seth, what he did in verse 30. He said, and Lamech lived after he begat Noah. So Lamech took his own wife. He had only, Lamech had only one wife, and Lamech lived after he begat Noah 509 and 5 years, and begat sons and daughters. So the Lamech in Canaan, in Cain's side, had two wives, and he begat sons and daughters. Whereas the Lamech, which is in Seth, he was the one that begat Noah. So this is very, very necessary in order to do what? To understand who Noah is. Because when you understand this bloodline, then you can be able to know where Noah is coming from and where Abraham is coming from. You get it? These are not the same people. Cain has his own bloodline running. And I'm going to be showing you who the bloodline of Cain is. Now go with me straightforward into the book of John to show you who the bloodline of Cain are. Because these people, they are also written in the scripture, and the Bible make it very clear for us to show us who these people are. The bloodline of Cain and the bloodline of Seth. You get, and I'm going to be making it as simple as possible as I can do. You get it, so that you can be able to do what, to understand it. My dear brothers and sisters listening out there, now go with me into the book of John. John chapter number 8. I want to show you something there very important. Oh my goodness, I'm excited, to this message today. So let's start reading from verse 35. 8 from verse 35 of book of John. He said there, and the servant abided not in the house forever, but he said, and the servant abided not in the house forever, but the son abided ever. So you see there, the servant abided not in the house forever. So talking about abided not in the house. So this servant now is somebody who is working, because you cannot be a servant. As a servant is different from a son. A servant is somebody that is working, is working under some, that is working for someone, for a reason, for a payment. That individual needs to be paid wages. So that individual is going to do what? Is going to get payment for what he is doing. Hope you're getting it. So now this servant, now the Bible says, and the servant abide, and we're going to be saying who is this servant. You get it? Because this servant is also being made very clear to us. We can be able to do what, to see exactly who this servant is. So listen to what happened. He said, I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but you seek to go kill me, because my word has no place in you. It's talking about, at this particular time now, it is something that is going on between the people whom he was talking with, who had issues with what Yahushua was saying. So what happened is, Yahushua was bringing out words into existence. So these people had problem, with the words, the truth that was coming out of his mouth. So now they wanted, they had grudges. They had problems with the words which was coming out of his mouth. So they were trying to do things, in order to do what? In order to demean, in order to hate, or even go ahead and kill him because of the words which is coming out of his mouth. So now what happened is, he said, I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but you seek to go kill me, because my word had no place in you. So he's saying that his words have no place in these people. So who are these people? Because since Yahushua said that his word had no place in these people, then there is a problem somewhere. You need to understand it. Because Yahushua now is trying to say something that is what is deep. Now, because of that word which he said, listen to what happened. He said in verse 38, I speak that which I have seen with my Father. So the word which he's speaking has no place in some people's heart or in their mind. And he is speaking those things which he has seen with the Father. Now listen to what he said. And he said, and you do that which you have seen with your father. So he was at this point now distinguishing this certain people from he himself. Because he himself is what is coming from the Father, and he's speaking things that came from the Father. But the people who were not able to receive it, those people's father are different. Because if you are coming from the same source, then that means when I speak something, you will be able to do what you'll be able to get in tune with what I'm saying. So, but since you are not able to do what to be in tune on this with the same thing which I'm saying, then that means your lineage is different from where, from the perspective of where I'm going to, from the area where I'm going to. So now he said to them, he said, I speak that which I have seen with my father, and you do that which you have seen with your fathers. Now listen to what they say to him, because they perceived something from this word which Yahushua spake. So now listen to what they said. Then answered they and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Because they thought, they reasoned something. They be like, what is he trying to say? Is he trying to say that Abraham is not our father? Because he said that, that he speak that which he have seen from his father, So is he trying to say that Abraham is not our father or something? Now listen to what Yahushua said unto them. Yahushua said unto them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. You get it? Somebody, you need to understand what is going on here. Yahushua told them and said, if you are Abraham's seed, if you are Abraham's children, you would do you would do what you would hear what he's saying. In the sense that he is indirectly telling these people that since you people are not in this, your mind was not able to do what to grab and get what I'm saying, since those things that is coming out of my mouth does not have place in your heart, you people are not the descendant, you people are not the children of Abraham. He is indirectly doing what, telling them this, but they were not able to do what to understand it from that perspective. And now Abraham, you need to understand something about Abraham, the patriarch Abraham, is a man, is this flesh, that is what is the blood and flesh that is pleasant to the Most High. When the Bible talks about Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is talking about what? Is talking about the body, the flesh. Abraham is simply flesh. Somebody, you need to understand it. Noah is a fleshy man. Is somebody is flesh and blood. Is simply flesh and blood. But this flesh and blood is someone, is flesh and blood that was found, the Most High found this flesh and blood worthy, because this flesh and blood was able to do what is doing something that the Most High cherished, that the Most High see. That was why the Most High called Abraham out from the awe of the Chaldeans. That was why the Most High, when the Bible talk about Most High called Abraham out of the land of the Chaldeans, that is to say, the Most High now told Abraham that there is what he had a promise for him in order to do what, to bring out his own seed. So Abraham is simply what? Abraham is simply some people, is simply what? Is simply this flesh and body. So what happened is, Yahushua in this passage of the scripture is telling them that you people are not from the what? From the bloodline of what? Of Abraham. Because those people who are coming from the bloodline of Abraham, those people who are coming from the bloodline of Noah, through Shem, through Abraham, those people, when they listen to what I say, they know exactly, they hear it. Why? Because they are in tune You get it? So, but he said to them in this place, he said, if Abraham were if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. You see what is happening? Because these people, they've been claiming that they are Abraham's seed, not knowing who they are. But Yahushua is going to tell them who they are really. And this is going to be something that is going to do what is going to shock them. You know, it's going to blow their mind. It's going to make them to be what? To be more hate, to have more hatred. Now listen to what happened. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth, which I have heard of Elohim. Did not Abraham? You people are going about trying to kill somebody who is telling you the truth. The patriarch Abraham, who you people say is your father, is your grandfather. He never did such thing. He never killed no man for saying the truth. He never did all these things. He was somebody, you know, who loved peace, who cherished, you know, who wanted to live in harmony with the people around. He never go about, you know, trying to kill people innocently, you know, without no reason. He's somebody who is different. Now, talking about what? Talking about that flesh, which is called Abraham. That flesh, that blood, that blood, and that flesh and body, that blood and what and flesh of Abraham. You know, that body. There is no time that this body, you know, this body never had no such hatred of going about to kill people. Always that body wanted to be in harmony with the people around him. This is Abraham. This is what it is. So, you people are doing, you know, but you people seek about to go kill Yahushua, a man who told you people about the truth, which I have heard of Elohim. That this did not Abraham. Abraham never did such things. So why do you? How come you people are saying you people are the descendant of Abraham? Now listen to what he told them in the book in verse 41. You do the deeds of your father. So he was giving them something direct. He was telling them that you people are doing the deeds of your father. I want to tell you who your father is, because you people are not from Abraham. You people, the way I'm looking at you people are not descendants from Abraham, because you people are murderers. Now listen to what he said. He said, you do the deeds of your father. So they were like a shock. What is he talking about? You know, yes, you people are doing the deeds of your father, because Abraham is not your father. So then that means your father has to be definitely different from the patriarch Abraham, because Abraham never went about trying to kill no people. You get it? So now listen to what he said. He said, then say they unto him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Elohim. You see? So this is what they have been trying to do. They say, oh, they have one father. Even what? Even Elohim. So, but you are seeing the son of Elohim right there in front of you, speaking to you, but then you were not able to do what? To comprehend to what he was saying. You cannot be able to handle what he's saying, and you still open your mouth and say that you have what? You have one father, which is Elohim. Now listen to the answer that Yahushua gave to them in order to shut their mouth, because he is the representative of the one that they say is their father, which is what? Which is Elohim. Now listen to what he said to them and the way he shut their mouth. He said unto them, if Elohim were your father, you would have loved me. For I proceeded forth and came from what? From Elohim. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand me? Now, this is what he's telling them, you know. He was looking at them. These people, they say that what? That they have one father, which is Elohim. And Yahushua was telling them and saying, you people, look at these people. You are looking at, you know, the one that was sent forth, the Elohim that you say is your father, is sent me. So, and I'm here giving you the word, and you people are rejecting the word, and you people are saying that you people are this have one father, which is Elohim. Now, because of that, now Yahushua is about to do what? He now went straight forward to do what? To tell these people who they are really, so that will stop, you know, so that they will stop deceiving themselves, thinking that they are what? They are the children of Elohim. So he went straight forward, and listen to what he said to them. Why do you people not understand my speech? This is is what he's asking. Why is it that you people cannot understand my speech? Already, I have already told you people that you people are doing the deeds of your father, but you people don't understand. It's like I'm speaking in parable. It's like I'm speaking in parable, right? Why is it that you people don't understand what I'm saying? Now listen to what he said. He said, even because you cannot hear my word, you people cannot hear you cannot hear what, the word which is coming out from me. You people cannot handle it. Why? Listen to what happened. He said, ye are of your father, the devil. You people are what? You people ain't no descendant of Abraham. You people are not from Elohim. You people have your own father. And who is your father? Your father is what? Is Satan, is devil. Listen to what he said. He said, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was what? He was a murderer. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. So who is this murderer? Let's go back to the book of Genesis. I want to show you who the murderer is. This is their father. So they are descendants of these people who are claiming to be the seed of Abraham. They are claiming to be what? To be also from the descendant of Abraham, where they are not from the descendant of Abraham. They are what? This is their father, because Yahushua said that what? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. Now let's see the first person, the first individual who committed murder in what? In the scripture. Let's go into the book of Genesis chapter number 4. Genesis chapter number 4 from verse 8. It says, and Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. You see the first murderer. So now this same Cain was the one that did what? That he had his own bloodline. That was why I took you into the book of Genesis chapter number 4 from verse 17, where Cain knew his wife and gave birth to Enoch, and gave birth to Methuselah, and gave birth to Lamech. So he had his own bloodline. And that bloodline now, because Seth also had his own bloodline, and now they are what? They are kind of the same name here, the same name here, the same. So there is a purpose for that. So these people have been deceived into thinking that what? That the Most High is their ancestor too, is their father, not knowing that what? That their father traces back to what? To Cain. The Bible says in the book of John chapter number 8 from verse 44, ye are of your father the devil. The devil is what? Is those them people who came, Cain came through what? Through the seed of Satan. The Cain himself is what? Is Satan, because that is the seed through which what? Through which these people came. This is what Yahushua said. He said that what? He was a murderer from the beginning. The only murder that we have recorded in the scripture from the beginning is what? Is Cain. And he has his own bloodline. I'm talking about now on the fleshy place side now, talking about flesh and blood. Listen to what Yahushua said. Because like I said, these are two different bloodlines running. You get it on this earth. So these two different bloodlines that are running, you have that of Cain, you have that of Seth. The one of Cain is both flesh and blood. The one of Seth is both flesh and blood. So, but what happened is, the one of Seth is pleasant, more pleasant to the Most High than the one of Cain. So what happened is, the Most High is preserving a certain group, that is a certain body. In that of Seth, there are so many different, descendants of Seth, but there is a particular one that the Most High is preserving. Talking about the flesh and blood. So he's preserved, for example, now he preserved what? He preserved Noah. He preserved Abraham. He preserved Isaac, Jacob. And now you get it. So at this time now he's doing what? He's channeling it for a reason. There's a reason why he's keeping those bodies. He wanted to do what? To preserve those bodies. And these two bloodlines now from the one of Cain and the one of Seth have been running. So the giants that were in the earth were the people who came from Canaan. I'm going to show you. Let me continue in the verse 44. He said, because there is no truth in him, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not? Which of you can visit me of a sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of Elohim heareth Elohim's word. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Elohim. So you see how he did what? How he equally showed these people exactly who these people them are. Because all this while they've been believing, accepting, thinking that what? That they have a father. And their father is what? And their father is what? Is Elohim. And now before them you see somebody who was being sent by Elohim, and that individual is speaking word, is bringing words into what? Into creation, is creating things by his words. And you people have issues by accepting that word. And you say you are the son, you are what? You are, that is madness. You get it? So this is why Yahushua had to do what had to strike and tell these people very clear, so that they will stop deceiving themselves, thinking that Yahuwah is what? Is their Elohim. No, they have their own father. Their father is the devil. Because the lust of their father is what they are about to do. He was a murderer from the beginning. And because he was a murderer from the beginning, his descendants are going to be what? Are all murderers. You get it? So this is why, these things are what, when you go into the book of Genesis, you see that what? That there are two different bloodlines running in that place. So now what happened is, the Ruach of the Most High is going to be put back into his sons, and that is going to happen through the tribe of Yehudah. And when that happened, because the purpose of why the Most High is preserving the flesh, because like I told you, I said that what the body you're seeing, the flesh and blood, is what? Is both Cain, is Seth, is what is when you talk about Adam, Isaac, when you talk about Adam, Noah, Abraham, Cain, all these are what? Are flesh and blood. Because when you even go into the book of Genesis chapter number 6, the Bible makes us to understand about Abraham. Abraham said that he has taken it upon himself to speak to the Most High, which he himself is but dust and ashes. So he told us who he is. So Abraham, the name Abraham, is a name that was used as in form of allegory, in order to do what? To show us who Abraham. Abraham is simply what? Is simply body, blood, and flesh and blood, which is what? Which is pleasant. Noah is simply what? Flesh and blood, which pleases the Most High. Cain is simply flesh and blood, which is what? Which is an enemy of what? Of righteousness, who does not please the Most High at all. Cain is what? Is flesh and blood, that is what? That is an enmity, is against Seth. That is to say, he is against anything normal, or anything, anything the Most High, anything that has to do with the Most High. This Cain is what? Is against it. Why? Because he is what? He's an enemy to it. That is why the Bible said that what? He's a murderer. Anything good, count him out. He always wants to destroy. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and what? And to destroy. That is what? That is Cain. These are the body, these are the flesh and blood. So now there is some people who have been, the Most High have already been preserving them from one generation to the other, preserving their flesh for his own purpose. Because at the end of it all, he is going to do what he wants to bring his ruach and put into those flesh and blood which he has preserved. And when that happens, there's going to be another level of things. This is why I tell you, that the whole thing is moving towards pushing towards where tribe of Yehudah. Because when you get to Yehudah now, this is where the Most High is going to do what? He's going to put back that ruach. He said that my people who are called by my name. So those people who are called by the tribe of Yehudah are where the whole thing is going to be, is going to be. So all those flesh who made it to be what? Among the Yahudim, they are going to do what? They are going to have the Spirit of the Most High is going to be put in them now. The Spirit of the Most High is going to be put into that flesh, that blood, and that body. So now it will now metamorphosize. It will now turn into what? Into a spirit being. They are no longer flesh and blood, but they have now done what? They have now they have now taken control. The flesh and blood is no more, it's no more on them, but then they have this body they've gotten it, because the price has been paid already. So what happened is they now have this body, and this body now, the Spirit of the Most High has already been put in it. So therefore, those flesh that you see that used to be flesh is no longer flesh, but what the spirit beings. So, but these devils, these murderers that are in the scripture that the Bible talks about, Cain, the descendant of Cain, they are there. This is why you see that a lot of calamity, a lot of evil is going on. Why? Because all these Cain, the descendant, the seed line of Cain that is why the Bible talk about, there were giants in the earth in those days, and afterwards, those people that were giants, those giants that you hear about in the scripture that the Bible talk about are what? Are the children of Cain. Those ones that were, let me show you what I'm talking about in the book of Genesis. In the book of Genesis, let's go to the book of Genesis chapter number 6. He said, and there were giants in the earth in those days, and afterward that when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men that were of old, men of renown. And Elohim saw the wickedness of man, that it was great in the earth, and every imagination of the thought of his heart was evil, only continually, very wicked. So the mankind was wicked. The flesh and blood was wicked. Why? Because they've already intermingled, in the sense that they've already come together, and they were now, the Spirit of the Most High is no longer upon them. So since the Spirit of the Most High is no longer upon mankind at that time now, so what happened? They were what? They showed their true color. But it was only Noah, whose body, the flesh and blood, was being preserved, that the Most High found favor with what? With his flesh and blood. And the Most High chose to preserve it. Chose to preserve that particular body and flesh. And now when he preserved that particular body and flesh, he asked him to construct an ark in order to preserve it. And this is what he's going to do. This is how it happened till what? Till Abraham came. And now these people are trying to claim, when they have nothing to do with the descendant of Abraham. They are the seed of Satan, as the Bible talks about. You are of your father, the devil. So if you can't hear the word of the Most High, if you can't accept the word of Yahushua, you are also among it. Wherever you are, you don't accept the word of the Most High, you don't accept the words of Yahushua, you are one of them, descendant of Cain.